Hello there, this is Digital Realm, and welcome to the realm of movies with me, Prowan. In this episode of the Movie Realm, I'll be discussing a movie or anime movie called Your Name. The reason why I picked this movie was because of the prior episode being about anime. I thought it'd be a good transition into the realm of movies with the movie Your Name, which has been a great success, scoring percentages of 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and 79% on Metacritic. These are phenomenal scores, better than most things that come out these days, and I'm very happy to have seen it at my local Harkins Theatres, which was actually one of the showings that showed dub rather than subtitles due to timing restraints and all. However, I do intend to buy the Blu-ray to watch the subtitle version and get both pictures of this movie. Now for me, this dub version was actually a really decent quality performance done by Funimation, so I'm extremely pleased by that, so thank you very much. I've had bad taste from dubs before, which will be in my next anime episode about dubs vs sub, but I've had bad taste before with experiences from One Piece and Naruto, but mainly the One Piece is what's really put a bad taste in my mouth with dubs. However, let's get into the thoughts and processes of the anime movie Your Name. Now, this was released last year in Japan in August 26th, 2016, which was very surprising to hear that it wasn't even nominated for an Oscar, up there with movies like Moana and Kubo and the Two Strings, which were good movies still, but this by far blew it out of the water, and I wish they could maybe be nominated for Oscars this year for the Western audiences and all that, because it was released here April 7th, 2017. Now, this was directed by the director Makoto Shinkai, who also did 5 centimeters per second, which was another very good anime movie, among others. It's also been distributed by Toho, which has done some Studio Ghibli things as well, and distributed from there. This has actually been such a great release. It was the 4th highest gross movie of all time in Japan, and was also the highest grossing anime movie worldwide, with 353 million US dollars. This actually beat out Spirited Away, which doesn't necessarily make it a better movie than Spirited Away, but is definitely very good in comparison. Spirited Away was another movie that was one that not necessarily got me into Studio Ghibli, but was one of those big ones that maybe pulled audience towards Studio Ghibli. Because as much as those that like anime prior to Studio Ghibli movies and stuff coming out, there's been other ones like Princess Mononoke and all that has definitely captured me prior to it. But mainstream, mainstream, Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away were definitely the two which definitely brought it into the mainstream audiences for Studio Ghibli, I feel like. And movies like this to now be out there for Western audiences to view, because it's very rare around these parts to see that. So I appreciate that very much that this sort of movie can make such a widespread release and do really well. Now, I'm going to put a little non-spoilery thing here and then move over to a spoilery section. Like I mentioned in the anime section, or the anime realm, I mentioned how Boogie 2988 does that. And I kind of like that feel, because I want to talk about spoilers here and there, but then I don't want to necessarily spoil things for people. So if you haven't seen it, then this is fine. I'm going to put a non-spoiler little part right here. And then I will go into the spoilers over this side. So, getting started. This, I thought, was just going to be like a gender swapping movie, and that was kind of it. A boy and a girl kind of switch bodies, and they kind of live each other's lives throughout one another. But it wasn't that. Well, it was, but it wasn't that at the same time. It was very much the broadness of the movie itself was by far widened the scope within like the first half an hour. It wasn't just this gender swapping movie anymore. It was by far something more complex, something more story driven, something, the characters and everything won me over instantly. However, by the first intro song even, which I'm going to play the little clip on the side over here. But what won me over above that, above thinking it was just a gender swapping movie and it was like a slice of life, coming of age thing, but as they experience one another's lives, was the fact that it was so detailed, so awe-striking. Witnessing this experience in this movie was such a pleasure. It was one of those few movies that really get my tear ducts going, if you will. Another movie like that was Grave of the Fireflies, that really made me so sad, so emotional, so unequipped to handle what was going to happen, or handle what was going on in the screen. It was so driven, so passionately like, wow, that this is a movie to go and see. It's a definite must see, and if you haven't had a chance to see it, definitely find out who's playing it still, because it wasn't like a limited release for the week. Sometimes, it was a couple of weeks it was out for, but it's gone now. But at least in this location, it's gone now, and I wish you were able to experience it. If not, wait for the Blu-ray, DVD, or the DVD in general, and watch it in either subtitle or dub. The dub I was very pleased with, despite not necessarily wanting to go and watch it in dub. It was really good in dub, and I'm really pleased with that. So what's the story about, other than this whole gender swapping thing? Well, it's about a teenage boy named Taki and a teenage girl. They're both in high school, and she is Mitsuha, who embark on a quest to meet each other for the first time after they magically swap bodies. Now, beforehand, they don't know each other, and they're waking up in each other's bodies, not quite knowing what's going on other than they have switched, thinking that it's even like a dream, and they're just living their lives as this dream, as they think of it, as just commencing, this happening, and they're just like living actual lives from one another within their thinking of it as a dream, which is really crazy to think. Like, you find out that you're not dreaming, and you're actually living in someone else's life, really. So complex, so like, wow, like, mind blowing in a way. Like, you would think you were sleeping, having a dream of someone else's life, but actually the whole time you've been living it. That's really interesting, and I have not heard of that kind of that concept before. Of the characters thinking that way. Usually it's something like, oh, we want to switch because we want to experience one another's lives, or, oh, we don't want to have our lives, and then they switch to show how good they actually had it, that sort of thing. But this was like, actually, they don't know each other, and they're switching lives when they're sleeping. So that was really interesting to have that concept. Now, they're both in high school, as I said, and it's through a montage where very early on in the episode, the movie I should say, within 10 minutes before you get to your first intro song, when it clicks, when you get so attached to the characters, just for this little monologue, and I believe that the song actually is in the trailer, which I'll show right up here. I won't show the trailer, I won't show the music, but it's in the trailer, and I'll have a link in the description below. But definitely worth checking out and viewing that, because even when I'm going to show the dub, and I'll post a link down the bottom as well for the subtitle version of the trailer. But even from that monologue, from that like compilation of them going through their lives really quickly throughout a song period of time, you get sucked into their lives, you're sucked into what's going on. I find it was so fascinating, but also so much fun. It was entertaining by far within the first 10 minutes, until this one thing happens where Taki goes on a date with Miku, which Mitsuha has tried to set up for him in her living in his life, and they set up like little boundaries, they set up little rules for them to kind of not ruin anything that they have set up, not to like kind of break apart their livelihoods and all. And something I have to mention is that Taki, he's a high school student which lives in Tokyo, whereas Mitsuha is from like the mountainous, Japan's mountainous Haida region. So they have very different lives. One's very city, one's very much like kind of rural. Kind of she makes sake with her grandmother and younger sister. They also do like knitting or woven tapestry sort of thing as well. They kind of go into that a little bit. Whereas Taki, he's like a waiter at a restaurant. So they have very much different lives. Like the place Mitsuha lives in, like the little village she lives in, doesn't even have a cafe. It doesn't have like a club or bar or anything like that. They have 2 restaurants, if I remember right, or 2 pubs, I believe they were saying. But that's about it. Like that's all they have in there. And the whole point is them wanting to come out to like Tokyo, to a big city sort of thing. So it was interesting how she had him as that kind of portraying body switching or life switching persona. As I was mentioning, with Taki having a date with Miki Uno, thanks to Mitsuha, when he goes to contact her, when they go to try and communicate with one another, something happens. And this something happening is so awe-inspiring, if that's the right word, like so gaspingly like jaw-dropping. This is where everything blows up, and this is why the movie is so good. It's absolutely phenomenal, and why you should watch it. And it happens within like half an hour or so. And this is where the non-spoiler section has to end, because I'm going to get into a territory which I don't want to ruin for anyone. So if you want to jump ahead, I'll enter a little snippet within here. I'll let you know when that timer kicks in to jump to, so you can avoid the spoilers and all that, and pretty much wrap up. Or we can just wrap up here. Okay, so if you want to see spoilers, I'm going to move everything over from the non-spoiler section over to the spoiler section right now, and wrap everything up. So I thank you all for coming by, viewing this little discussion about Your Name, the anime movie, which everyone should check out. It's amazing. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so we're going to switch it over. But I do thank you all for watching, all those that don't want to be spoiled. Don't forget to subscribe for more. This has been the first of many movies to come that I'm going to discuss. If you have any feedback for me, definitely give me that feedback so I can improve and everything. The last episode was from the anime realm, and if you enjoyed that, then like for some more. I'm going to be talking about most likely Dragon Ball Z coming up and the dub versus sub, which is why I had a nice little transition to this movie section. But I thank you all for watching, and now we're going to move over to the spoiler part of this, where I'm now going to discuss what happened when they tried to communicate and nothing, Mitsuha didn't respond to Taki. So I'm going to count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're officially into the spoiler section. You've had your countdown, you've had your warnings. Okay, what happened? What happened? Seriously, what happened? And I don't even know if I want to even go into this and kind of butcher things too without watching it again. But seriously, they're living, I'm just going to come straight out with it. They're living years apart from one another. Like, what the? Like, he has to go through his time and everything to find the location where she was actually living and find out what happened with this bomb when her town got exploded. Like, we're in deep territory here with spoilers, by the way. You should have left a longer time ago if you haven't already. I'm giving you another forewarning. But anyway, her town got exploded. Like, everyone's dead. No one made it. Like, he has to go in his present timeline, which is her past time. Or, no, his present timeline is her future timeline. And he has to go and correct that. And by communicating with her, he has to try and fix her side of things before it happens that it wasn't even an explosion or a bomb. It was a meteorite actually that came crashing down. There was two meteorites, and it came crashing down on her town. And yeah, wow. Now it's coming back to my mind. It's like, oh my goodness, yeah, it was two meteorites came crashing down. Wow. And he has to go back and he has to try and solve this or what happened to her, and he finds out like through those that lived on those that survived on the surrounding, like it was like 3 years ago or something like that. That happened. So he's now living the future of her, and that's in his past. And then they come into their like he's like trying to figure out what's going on, and they actually did go into one another, because in her future self but his past, they did meet each other. And it was just like, yeah, this is why it was like, to me, I didn't go with knowing any of this. I just thought it was like a girl and a boy switching lives. For it to be like this, I was like, wow, I was really impressed. I was overly impressed, by far. Amazing job. Makoto Shinkai, absolutely amazing. I don't know what else to say other than it was phenomenal. I cried so much, trying to have that, hoping that they're going to be okay and everything. It was just outstandingly good. Everyone should go and watch it. That was the spoilery part, everything there. I'm not going to go like way into depth and stuff, because sometimes I don't even like spoiling things, but I felt like I have to just do a little spoiler section here just to jump in and to say that that's what happened. And we can have discussion in the comments below. But if you want to talk about more, and after I only watched it the one time it was in dub, but I'm definitely going to come back and watch it again with the Blu-ray and watch it in subtitles and stuff, because it's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. It's going to be up there with the Fireflies and everything like that, because everyone has to see it. But I thank you all for sticking by and doing that little extra section just for the spoilers, the spoiler part here. I thank you all for sticking by. If you have anything more to say about this anime, if you have anything more than what I didn't mention, then hit me up in the comments below. Definitely tell people if it's going to be spoiler or spoiler free, just so they're aware if they haven't seen it already. Because I feel that is such a big like wowzer part of the movie that I don't want it being ruined for anyone when they enter into it. So just let people know if it's going to be a spoiler comment or not. I'm going to put the trailers up here. I'm going to have the dub one first, and then I'll play the subtitle one. So you can enjoy that at your leisure. There was going to be a link in the description if you want to have it on sound. I try and avoid copyright and everything like that here, especially with what's going on with the YouTube advertisement and everything. So, and restricted mode and all that fun stuff. So definitely want to avoid that. But like this video for more. Subscribe if you want to check out the other content. Don't forget we have an Anime Realm, which I did last episode. This will be the first of the many Movie Realm episodes. I also have like a general just chatting thing, which will just be Digital Realm. Welcome to the Realm. And we have on Fiverr, I have a gentleman. I will plug him in the next. Well, when it releases, I'll do a plug for Fiverr. But he's doing a banner for the channel, so that's awesome. I also want to do a little Mario Kart 8 Deluxe impressions and everything. Give my thoughts on that, since I had never played the Wii U version, and I had a blast with it yesterday. So I definitely want to go into that. So probably the next episode will be within the gaming realm. So stay tuned for that. But this has been the anime movie discussion on Your Name. Thank you for staying tuned, listening to this, and I will catch you all next time. You've been fantastic. I've been Prone, and I'll catch you next time. And have a good one. Bye.